Hey everybody, this is Todd Schmink at Aquatherapies, wellnesstalks.org, and I'm going over today one of the values. So as you may have seen in one of my earlier video posts this week on wellnesstalks.org, I was going into values and why the values are important for us. Why do I need to know what my values are? What would be the importance of this? Now, I invite you to click down below and find that actual video which goes into that. But ultimately, understanding what our values are help us to move forward, especially when we're stuck. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean by values? And that's what this whole series of exploring values are all about. So here is a value for today, something to think about and how it shows up in the four main areas, which I have discussed in a different video as well. So the four square values of love and work, play, and health. So integrity. Integrity is the piece that I'm going to be speaking on today. What is integrity? Well, in a nutshell, I boil integrity down to just one simple phrase: being your word. So that would be when you say you're going to do something, you do it. When you say you're going to take an action, you follow through on it. When you're when you don't do that, you follow up and you clean it up. That would be integrity, being your word, being who you say you are. And of course, fixing it, going back and making amends for when you don't. And sometimes not following through on something, it was due to outside or extraneous circumstances. But that doesn't mean that you're still not responsible for it and that you can't go back and that you shouldn't go back if integrity is something that you truly value, to go back and make sure that it gets done so that it works. So how does integrity guide somebody? How does it make it so that you stay on course? So let's take a look at the first box of love and or your close personal relationships. When it comes to integrity, when I tell my wife I'm going to do something, I do it. And if I mess up, I fess up and I go and fix it, and then go above and beyond, exceed her expectations. How else would integrity show up when it comes to relationships? Well, staying in contact with them because you say it's something that's important to you. So you follow through with those friends, with those family members, with the clients that you're working with the business partner that you're in business with. So it's the relationship. It's how do I have integrity in my areas, in the area of relationships. Integrity, when it comes to relationships, might simply be being there for them. Now, if we move over to work, how would integrity as a core value show up when it comes to work or academics? Well, I think you can find plenty of good examples out there. If you have a warranty, a guarantee, that's you putting your integrity out there, saying that this product, this service, this thing that you are going to take, I'm going to give you, will do what I say it does. Once again, it boils back down to that original definition of I am my word. So integrity at work would be a guarantee. Integrity at work would be a superb product. It would be a product that lasts for a long time. Think about a car. You want a car that has a company with integrity. When you look at things that have happened with Volkswagen and some of the other car recalls out there, where they were purposely skirting on particular formats, there was a lack of integrity. And now they're working to try to gain that level of trust, that integrity back. So the trustworthiness shows up when it comes to integrity. Now, if we drop integrity down into play, well, this becomes a little bit more difficult. How does integrity show up when it comes to your rest and relaxation, when it comes to your entertainment? Once again, you can tie it back to the relationship piece because you're probably doing something like that with somebody. So you say you're going to be there, so you're there. But there also is a sense of integrity with yourself when it comes to rest and relaxation and entertainment. There needs to be personal accountability to keep that work-life balance, to do things where you unplug and being okay with unplugging and playing a game or going out for a walk all by yourself. The integrity component is there, and it'll show up in ways such as engaging, being there, being consistent when you're doing that playful activity, that creative activity. Having integrity means when you're doing an art project or creating music that you're trying to do it to the best of your abilities. But it also, like I said, means when you take time off, actually taking the time off, allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to recharge, allowing yourself to rebuild your energy stores. And there's a whole other conversation on wellnesstalks.org which talks about the importance of energy versus time management. I invite you to check that out. And then finally, how does integrity show up when it comes to health? Now, as I've explained in one of the other videos, health is not just your physical health, but it's your mental and emotional health, it's your spiritual health. So we want to look at all those components. Am I following, how does it show up for me? Am I following what I've set for myself? Once again, this is more of a personal or an internal one. Yet, if I am, let's say, a doctor, then my health habits when it comes to integrity should be that I am not a smoker, that I go to a gym, that I take care of myself. There's nothing worse than being a patient sitting with a doctor who smells like an ashtray and they're telling you to stop smoking. There's no integrity because there's no integrity when it comes to this particular area of health. The same thing might be said if a dietitian is sitting with you and there's a lack of integrity and that this person obviously doesn't take care of themselves as well. It doesn't mean that they don't admire or believe or value integrity. It just means it's not showing up in this section, in this area. So when I'm working with individuals, I walk them through this four quadrant, these four areas of a roadmap to come up with guides, to come up with places that they are not being the thing that they value. And when we're not being the thing that we value, it does eventually cause physical sensations. It does cause emotional distress. It does cause cognitive distress and tends to make us feel depressed or stuck. So I invite you to play with this word, integrity, and see if this is a value, something that you value, and run it through those four areas of love, relationships, of work, of play, and of health. And see if you can't come up with a short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term goal. I also think that when you're playing with this and you run through these four areas, you'll find that there's one area where you have integrity. Perhaps it's at work. Maybe at work you're very good at following through on what you say you will do. But in doing this exercise, you find that over in the relationships, in the love area, for some reason, you don't have the same level of integrity. There's where you can put a short-term goal in place, a mid-term goal in place, and a long-term goal in place, and begin to play with it, begin to put it in motion. And remember, if you find the right item, the right goals, you should feel a physical sensation. You should feel energized by it. You should feel excited and even curious about it. So I invite you to play with this concept, this value of integrity, and check back tomorrow. Leave a comment below if you'd like, and be sure to go up into the corner and join so that you can continue to get updates as I put them out there. My name is Todd Schmink. This is Aquatherapies, wellnesstalks.org, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.